श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं श्रीधरं
माधवं गोपिकावल्लभं
जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे जानकी नायकं
रामचन्द्रं भजे
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्. Everybody begin to
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवम्
अच्युतं
केशवं सत्यभामाधवम् अच्युतं केशवं सत्यभामाधवम् माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकानायकम्
माधवं श्रीधरं राधिकानायकम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
इंदिरं मंदिरं चेतसा सुंदरम्
इन्द्रामदिरं चेतसा सुन्दरम्
इंदिरं मंदिरं चेतसा सुंदरम्
इन्द्रामदिरं चेतसा सुन्दरम्
देवकी नंदनं नंदजं संददे
देवी नन्दनं नन्दजं सन्नये
देवकी नंदनं नंदजं संददे
देवी नन्दनं नन्दजं सन्नये
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम् अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम् अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरिम्
कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरिम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्
अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम् अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणम्. श्री धृतराष्ट्रवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समावेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवश्चैव किं अकुर्वत संजय किं अकुर्वत संजय. Chapter 1 verse 1. धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समावेतायुयुत्सवः मामकः पाण्डवश्चैव किम अकुर्वत संजय. बोलो कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. In chapter 1 verse 1, the very first verse, would somebody like to read the translation for me? You know, we do Gita studies in this mandir every Sunday, so I'm going to pick on some of our devotees. Anybody brought the Gita? What did it say? It says, "O king." What did the king Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya a question, and we'll get into that in a minute, but let's just read the purport with translation in English, and we will drill down on this and expand on this for you so you can get the true gist of what this verse is saying. Dhritarashtra, first of all, is asking his charioteer Sanjaya. He says, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in this place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? That is the summary of that. Now, if most of us are studying the Bhagavad Gita, we will read that and we'll move on to the next verse, and then we'll move on to the next verse, and at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, you'll say, you know, that's kind of complicated, it didn't make much sense. And then they will read it again, if they're a true devotee and they were inspired in any way. And they'll read it again and again and again, and finally they'll say, you know what? Maybe I need to study this. And then, as you begin to study, the knowledge leaps out at you. So, let's analyze this statement a little further. As we all know the story of the Mahabharata and what happened. There was two families. I'll summarize it very quickly and briefly, and I want to get into this to bring everyone here who needs to be brought up to speed. And there were two brothers and their children. One brother, his name was Pandu, and the other brother name was Dhritarashtra. And the Pandus were 5 brothers, and Dhritarashtra's son had 100 sons named the Kauravas. And after many disputes between them, they weren't unable to settle their disputes over the kingdom, which Pandu was their king of and left in charge of his son. But because of the greed of the other brother, Dhritarashtra, who was blind, he decided to usurp the kingdom, and his son became the temporary king. And they exiled the other 5 brothers, the Pandu, the son of Pandus. So now they've decided to go to battle, and they are facing each other in the battlefield. And war has already taken place for 10 days now. And Sanjaya was the charioteer of the blind king. Vyasji, who's an avatar of Vishnu Bhagwan, came to the blind king and says, if you would like, I can give you Divya Shakti, special vision, so you can see what's going on in the battlefield. And he says, no, I don't want to see, because he knows his act was unrighteous. So he says, very well, then I'll give this divine sight to your charioteer Sanjaya, and Sanjaya will relate to you past, present, future, and everything that's going on. Things that he cannot see even, and the thoughts of people as well. What's going on in this battlefield. So this question was Dhritarashtra asking this question to Sanjaya. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on where? In this pilgrimage known as Kurukshetra. So first of all, this battle is taking place on a very holy place. As a matter of it is said in the Vedas, in some of the Upanishads, and our Puranas, or historical books, that in this very spot, Kurukshetra, that many sages have ascended to heaven. Many sages go and do tapasya. Many munis and rishis go there. And even the devatas come there and assemble sometime. So already this place is what? Feedback is good. It's a blessed place, a holy place. And this war is between 100 brothers and 5 brothers, right? 5 cousins, right? 100 is considered unrighteous, and the other 5 is considered righteous. So immediately there, Dhritarashtra is worried that this is a holy place and it's a war of righteous versus unrighteous. But let's take it a little further. The word Dhrit. If you were to break down the Sanskrit word Dhrit, it means reins. What type of reins? You know, if you're riding a horse, what do you pull on? The reins, right? So Dhrit means reins. And Rashtra means kingdom. So Dhritarashtra is the reign to the kingdom. So here we have a blind king, right? Controlling the reins to what? The kingdom. And he is wanting to know what did they do. That is past tense. What has already happened, he would like to know. So Sanjaya tells him the story of what happened. And before I get into this story and more into this verse, I want to tell you a simple thing. Think about what Dhritarashtra is doing. First of all, he says he wants to know on this holy battlefield, what is the son of the Kuru? The Kurus referring to the lineage of the dynasty, the ruling dynasty. And then what is the sons of Pandus, those other people, doing on the battlefield? So first of all, he's separating himself and his sons